Right, everybody here? So, third level Jack Finney. Have you ever heard, have you ever had any curious experience with others which you find hard to believe? Now, this is in terms of science fiction. This is in terms of science fiction. But sometimes in spirituality, you have experiences, or sometimes you have intuition. Sometimes, you feel like you know something is going to happen and those things happen. So those are curious experiences. You don't know why those things happen, but they happen. So the presidents of New York Central and the New York New Haven and the Hartford railroads will swear on a stack of timetables that are only two. That there are only two. So New York Central is a station, train station in New York. New York is a city in United States of America. New Haven and Hartford are railroads. They are cities. So again, in India we call it railways. They call it Americans. They have a very different terminology. They call railways railroads, right? So Hartford and New Haven is called are two places in the state of Connecticut. So I've written CT over here. You don't need to remember. They will not ask you that in the exam. Will swear on a stack of timetables. Stack means pile. Pile of timetables. That there are only two. What they are talking about, two levels. Over here, two means two levels. Right? So if we come to our school and we figure out that somebody tells there's a third level. We have ground and we have first. So somebody says, no, I go to the third level. Third level is a terrace. We have solar panels. No, there's another third level. You don't know. So then that is a thing. In the past or even in the present, sometimes we make things up, right? We tell our friends, wake up in the night exactly 2:58 a.m. Then inside the hostel there is a secret door. I will take you there. From there we go to the McDonald's nearby. Have McDonald's in the night and come back. And you wake up and then you say, you go to that person and then that person says, every day I go, today we'll go. And there is no door. And then he'll say, you are a bad omen. Tu panoti chhe. You are a bad omen. Because you are here, this door does not open. But otherwise I go out there every day. Right? So such things happen to sad people, depressed people, silly people, right? They are not real things. There is a difference between science fiction and fiction that is, science fiction that turns out to be true, right? So we have discussed and we keep discussing that mobile phones were something of a thing of the past. And then if you go in the 1840s over here where Charlie takes us, there might not be mobile phones, but now there might be. So a city could change. If you go to a city after 15 years, it could have different facilities. But otherwise, it remains the same. So we are talking about that time. But I say there are three. Who says this? The author or the protagonist of the author is Jack Finney, but the protagonist over here or the main person in the chapter is Charlie, and he says he knows that there are three levels. Now, how did he make the third level in his mind? Right? Sometimes we also feel like I know this chapter very well, and anybody asks me any question, I will be able to tell you. Right? In Hindi, they say, "ऐसा तेरे को लग रहा है, ऐसा है नहीं, ऐसा तेरे को लग रहा है." So even over here, he feels उसको लग रहा है कि there are three levels. चलो. I say there are three because I have been on the third level of the Grand Central Station. So somebody may say in our school they have been on the third level. Or I think there are 20 levels and they have been on the 20 level. On the 20th level there is a room where they have nothing but video game stations. I play their video games all night, come back and sleep like Bill Gates used to, use the Washington University's compute time when he was a young man. But that was true. But for us, 20-floor building, I don't know. maybe in the future. Yes, I've taken the obvious step. Why the obvious step? What is the natural step if somebody tells you you go to McDonald's every night? Pagal che. So that when somebody tells you pagal, we use it in normal language. Gando che, pagal che, crazy man, right? But sometimes some people have crazy ideas and they change the world, like Musk, like Steve Jobs, right? They really have ideas and they work on it, right? Or nothing works without you working, right? If you put the book on your head and sleep with the pillow, like the rat peddler sat in the forge, the English book, do you think the English material will go into your head automatically? No, but somebody may say, oh, I do that and I know everything. So why take English? Why not take physics or chemistry or math? Coming back to the point. So what obvious step, because people told him he is crazy? Crazy in here is you have a mental health challenge. What do you have? Mental health challenge. And for a mental health challenge, there are only two things. You can remember God, you can start taking action, you can come out of it by talking to somebody, and then if it goes too far away, you have to go to a clinical psychologist or a medical doctor for mental health. And all of these people, they treat mental patients, and it's not a good thing to do. But in a modern world, there has been a lot of demand of this profession, psychiatry. Why? Because we live unreal lives. We live lives of Instagram. We live lives of Twitter. We live lives of Facebook. Facebook is not there. But we live lives, our lives are in the present right now. But if you have a device, your life is in the device. And that is why it's going to be a great problem in the modern days. But in the past also there was a problem. People who run away from their lives, they have mental health problems. You have to accept your life. So if you don't know 5 chapters, you have to say, I don't know 5 chapters and I want to study them. But if you expect the teacher to do everything for you, it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. You have to pick up your book and do that. Otherwise, then what will happen? Exam time will come and you will say to other people that I knew everything, but I don't know anything right now. So then that is sad. That is depressing. That is something that causes anxiety. And that is what is exactly going to happening to Charlie. He doesn't want to go to work. He feels that traveling to work is a bad thing, right? Now there may be so many people in his city who doesn't or don't have a job. Now, don't you think it is a better thing? You sometimes feel we don't get good food. Look at the people, the gardeners and their children. You feel we have to stay in such a school where we can't go home much. Look at people where they don't have schools, right? That is one way to come out of such sad and depressive things. But then if you have accepted that, I'm in a problem and I only have a problem, then you are in a big, bad, challenging state, right? And Charlie over here has that state, and that has gone so far that he has to go to a clinical doctor. He sees things which there are not. So some people are dreamers, right? Wright brothers were dreamers. They saw aeroplanes when they were making bicycles. But they were not just seeing it, they were working on it, right? He wants to run away. So there are 3 modes if you want to write down. There are 3 modes that we normally take. It is fight. Anytime we have a trouble, we fight with the other person. Or we take a flight. F-L-I-G-H-T. Charlie is in this mode, flight. As in he goes away from his body and takes another journey, right? And then the other one is flee. You run away from the situation. You run away saying that Marathi nahi thai. I will not be able to do it. Or you are in the class but you are in some other world. That is flight. And you get into a problem with somebody or something, you try overthinking and you fight with yourself. All 3 things are bad. And for all of these 3 things you need bhajan. For all of these 3 things you need Bhagwan Nubad. For all of these 3 things you need temples. For all of these things you need good teachers, friends, mentors. But Charlie has some but does not have one. But when you go deep inside all of these 3 things, what happens? You become sad, you become depressive, you become anxious, and you cannot come out of this. And then it causes more problems. Because how do you solve your problems? By solving them, by working on them. There is no magical wand to solve your mathematical problems. Pravatak sir taught a chapter, he said do 15 problems. You cannot like say, oh, this is my magical wand, 15 problems solved. They will not. You have to work on it. And people who don't want to work on themselves, in the end, have to go to a mental doctor. Psychiatrist is a good name. It is a pagaloka doctor. And we don't want to get into that state. Right? But he has got into one. Why? Because the train station has only 2 levels, but he sees 3. And then that is a problem. So I talked to a psychiatrist friend of mine, among others. I told him about the 3rd level at the Grand Central Station. And he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. This is a common question in the exam. You are awake, but no, you are awake, thank you. But this is a waking wish dream fulfillment. What does that mean? You are awake and you want to fulfill your dreams, but you don't want to work for it. You just want to wish for it. You start with wishing, but then you have to work for it. Everybody understands this? And this is the common question that is asked in the board exam. Why is it called a waking dream wish fulfillment? Now, you can have dreams when you are sleeping, but you are awake, you are having dreams, but you are just wishing they would get fulfilled. Like, if you have seen Harry Potter movies, I have not seen much or read books much, but when he takes the first journey to Hogwarts, there is a 10, 3/4 something, right? A pole in the middle of the station from where if you go inside the Hogwarts train, you get the Hogwarts train, right? Those who have read it. Now, is that real? No, it's not. It's not. But if you start living in his world, then you feel you are Harry Potter and you do Quidditch or whatever, different kinds of things. Not possible. Maybe in the future, but right now not possible. But if you think like that, yeah, no problem, I will not study, in the end I will get it. Then it is a waking dream wish fulfillment, and it is actually nothing but sadness. It is nothing but anxiety. If you want to do anything meaningful in life, there is this word, action. Sir, I sit in the computer lab in front of the things and I do these courses and I use keyboard, action. No, you have to do meaningful action. After this chapter is done, you have to do meaningful action. What is the meaningful action? You'll have to take this chapter, you have to do the summary, you have to do the question answers, you have to write question and answers. Sir, but I'll read question and answers. It will not work. It is not meaningful action because the exam is a writing paper. I keep telling you, you cannot fly an aeroplane by looking at its user manual. Right? So you cannot write an exam by saying, I'll read the exam for the exam so that I can write for the exam. There are some people who can read for the exam and write, but we are not there yet. So he said, I was unhappy. See, any person who is unhappy has to go to a mental doctor. Any happy person will never have to go to a mental doctor. Now, unhappy, why? See, happiness is not natural. Unhappy means expecting more than what you want to do in life. You don't want to take action, and you don't want to change things for yourself, and you want to expect things, and that makes you unhappy. Or you are in an unrealistic world. That makes you unhappy. You are at a school and you believe you are in a football club and you dream about football all day. That is going to make you unhappy. Why? You are disconnected from the reality. Are you getting the point or not? So Charlie is disconnected from the reality. And the mental doctors, if you go to a mental doctor, we should never, our school children should never go to a mental doctor. If you get to that stage, you are in bad shape. Rather go to a temple, rather meet a saint, rather meet a good teacher. Don't go to them. And we don't want to get into a state. So if you don't want to be unhappy, accept the things the way they are and start working on what you can make your life do to make your life better. Accept where you are. But people don't accept, and that makes them unhappy. Happiness is not like being a joker, laughing all day. That is not happiness. Happiness is accepting the way the things they are. Right? I keep telling people sometimes, if you want to die and get birth in the Ambani family, then there is no problem. But even they will have challenges. You die and get birth in a Scandinavian king's family, Swedish king's family. You won't have problems of this kind, but you will have problems of other kinds. People have problems. On this earth, there are problems. But we don't want to be unhappy and see things that are not there and take people to McDonald's by telling them that there's a doorway. So Charlie is like that. That made my wife kind of mad. Now, wife is somebody attached to you, and somebody says, I'm unhappy, she will say, you are not. If I tell you, tell your parents, Badda Ganda Chhe. They will come and tell me, you pagal, your family pagal, your entire generation pagal. My kid is not pagal. Even if he has challenge, they will not say. So you understand, wife was mad? Write it down. Why was wife mad? Because she is connected to Charlie. If somebody says bad things about him, but that made my wife kind of mad because he said I was unhappy. But he explained that he meant the modern world was full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it. Yes, it is. There are insecurities, whether I will be able to achieve my dreams or not. Work on it. There are fears. If I do this and if I get it wrong, do it. If there are wars, you are going to die. You are going to die anyways, no matter what. Right? Waking up in the morning also is a gift of God. Worry? Why worry? Why worry? Work on it. Right? Be a warrior, not a worrier, they say, right? So how do you war with yourself, with things? Work on it. Take action. Do the things that are meaningful. Do the things that are important. Do the things that will help you show yourself that you are able to do things, not the others. खुद को बताने के लिए काम करो कि मैं कर सकता हूँ. Why show it to the others? And that I just want to escape, right? So he wants to, which mode? Fight or flee. Flight mode. He wants to escape from the modern world. You want to escape from the school. Counting days for the vacation. Escape. What will you do? That's a short escape. You have to come back. Then finally I will escape. If you escape and then wherever you go to, whatever university, what place you go to, there also you will not be able to escape. Sir, I'll have my comfortable room, my bed, I'll have my mobile phones. That will give you more problems. It's not going to be easy. But here he is worried of all of that. And that I just wanted to escape. Well, who doesn't? Me too. Do you think I want to come here on this lovely Sunday afternoon and take a class over here and then take a combined class of children who don't want to study, who had an opportunity to, do this and not do this again? Sir, tamaro labh male na. I understand. I know. So everybody wants to. Who doesn't? Right? Who wants to be here? But you have to be here. It's what you are and what you do and who you are. That is what you need to do. Right? I cannot dream of another place on the Eiffel Tower in Paris this morning. And if you do, then you are in great trouble. You are disconnected from reality. But he is. Right? He doesn't like his present reality, which is very bad. The most important thing is the present moment. You have to be in the present moment. Chalo. Everybody I know wants to escape, but they don't wander down on the third level at the Grand Central Station. This is what people do. We have written down when they are depressed. They go to places, dark places. This is called a dark place. Where is the dark place? In his own mind. You need to construct these places, right? Rato Rat, one night you wake up and there is a third level. How can that be? If we believe in the Indian culture, we are not in the Satyug, maybe gods came and built something in the night. It does not happen, right? We are even if we believe in our, say a way of systems in the Kalyug, nothing is going to happen. It's going to take time. We have to work on it. Chalo. But that's the reason he said, and my friends agreed. Right? Wow, what did my friends agree? Sometimes your friends will tell you the right things, but you won't believe it. Sometimes your friends will come and tell you, stop doing this, start studying. Good friends. But you will not believe. Right? Sometimes your parents will come and tell you, don't do this. You won't believe because it requires change. And change requires effort. And what is the one thing we don't want to do? Make effort. The one thing we don't want to do is make effort. And that brings us all the unhappiness. If you make efforts, if you start doing the things those are required, automatically your sadness will go away. But that's the reason he said, and my friends all agreed. My friends also agree, कि पागल है. He has this element where he sees third level when there are only two. Everything points to, they claim, my stamp collecting, for example, that's a temporary refuge from reality. So, when you are sad, people tell you to do other things. They say, take your mind off. Take your mind off of what is bothering you. Right? Sometimes people are so connected to their family, and if they lose a family member too early in their life, and if they are not able to disconnect, they will be in a bad shape. And that happens. And that is human life. It can happen at all the times. Right? You can lose somebody very close to you in your family at a very young age. What do? They might be your support systems. You lose them. So it is a dark place. It is a difficult place. Right? So when you are in this phase, people tell you do different things. So sometimes silly people go to these psychiatrists and they will tell he is in a mental health problem and they will say do different things. Do what you like. Now that's the other problem. I have been doing what I like and I'm not been doing what I should be supposed to be doing, and that is again causing the unhappiness. Are you getting the point? If you are allowed to do all that you like, what will life be? It will be even worse. Yes or no? It will be even worse. So they are saying, people will say take mind off and do what you like. Now, if you are sad and depressed and somebody says do stamp collecting, that will take your mind off. Okay, if you are doing it for collection, no problem. But if you want to make it a career, will you be able to? Does stamp collection give you money in the modern world? No, it won't. Right? There might be somebody having some stamp which was created in the 1800s, and it would be a rare thing, and it would be an antique thing, and that would sold for millions of dollars or rupees. But does anybody have that? Or even if it has a value, where is it? Do we have it? Can we collect it? No. So it's a thing that people tell you. When you go to a psychiatrist, they will tell you, take your mind off. Right? And that is why we have sports. That is why we have some free time. Take your mind off the real thing, but again come back to what is the real thing? Study. So, temporary refuge from reality. Why temporary? Why not permanent? Because real life is real. Permanent, if you want to do something, what do? You do what you're supposed to be doing, not what you like to do. Sir, I don't like mathematics. Then you have to do that more, because that is the don't like is going to give you a challenge. Sir, I don't like English. Sir, I don't like your silly face. For the remainder of the time, you are stuck with me. Right? But after that, you can do anything you want. But sir, I don't like my parents. It's a bad thing. That is all you have. You have to work towards it. You have to work together. You have to work with it. Chalo, temporary refuge from reality, not a permanent. Permanent refuge from reality. Work on what you are supposed to be doing and not on what you like to do. Sir, I like to be a footballer. Can you create a league over here during the exam time? I'll take my mind off, and then whenever I'm free, I come and give the exam. I want to be a musician. Let me take my mind off. Sir, I'm a video gamer, and I also want to stream it to show it to the people. Sir, take my mind off. Those are hobbies, entertainment, and they are really meant to take your time off for a little while. But mostly what do you need to do? Come back to the reality and do the things that you need to do. Your parents, if they wake up in the morning and they say they don't want to go to work, who will pay your fees? They said, or they don't want to go to the farms. Who will pay your fees? They are also tired. They also have to do the same thing over and over again. Your mom cooks food every day. She has been doing it for 20, 25, 30 years. She has to do the same thing. She has to make tea every day. She has to make dal chawal, rotli shak every day. If mom says, I'm going on a strike, I have to do this every single day, what will you do? Mom, take temporary refuge from reality. Right? So this is also connected to Aunt Jennifer. When she was suing these tigers, she was in a flee mode, trying to take temporary refuge from reality. What was the reality? Uncle in the house. See, this is how CBSE is going to connect the chapters and the poem, right? You may want to write this down, right? But what was the thing? She has to be in the present moment, accept the situation, and now do what the things are. Sir, forget about English. I want to get into a good university. Some people are dreaming of IIT or BEATS or IPM or whatever. Those are dreams, man. And dreams do come true if you take action. But if you're sleeping in reality in your own life, you're thinking of McDonald's and going about that and thinking about plans like Sophie. Sophie also is in which mode? Flee mode. Escaping mode, right? Not able to accept reality. All of this connects, huh? All of this connects. Chalo. Well, maybe my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. So he was collecting his grandfather's collection. It had been passed on over to the generation. So he's saying, my grandfather was not sad and sick. True, your grandfather was not. But you are. He did not have to go to a psychiatrist. He was not thinking about going in the past like you or the future. But you are. So there is no correlation over here. There is no direct correlation that your grandfather did not, he was not sad or sick. And you got his collection, you are managing his stamp collection. But that doesn't mean he was sad and you are not sad. You are sad. You are sad because you see things that aren't. Right? Things were pretty nice and peaceful in his day. Of course, in the past, people think that things were nice and peaceful. I forgot this name of a researcher who has researched, and his book has been written. It's a TED Talk, if I remember, I will tell you. He has said modern life has improved so much in the last 3 generations. In the last 3 generations, there would be, the bios would know that there would be plague, there would be different kinds of diseases, and in one disease, black plague or something, entire continents would wipe off. In the COVID also we saw, right? But with the modern medicine, what do we have? Vaccines. They come out so fast. What is it? Science and technology. But in the olden days, do you think life was peaceful? People had to go to 20 kilometers to fetch a water from a well. Right now we open the tap, we get the water. Still you guys and me and all of us with all of this technology sitting in an AC hall, we feel life is difficult. Man, you might be crazy. Sure, I have to study physics and that is why life is difficult. You might be crazy. You might be crazy. Go to a government school where they don't have a teacher and they have to learn physics. You have the best of the best, but we don't want to. That is what makes our life sad, and that is what is making Charlie's life sad. From all I hear, and he started my collection. So here, the collection of the stamp that has been, it is also called philately. Philately is a word used for stamp collection. It was passed on to the generation. It's a nice collection, 2 blocks of 4. 2 blocks of 4. So stamps, you can detach them if you have seen them. 2 blocks of 4. Got it? 1 block of 4 and the second block of 4. And then it is perforated over here. You can separate the stamps. Have you seen them? Okay. 4 blocks of practically every US issue first day covers. Now what are first day covers? Again, you would not have paid attention. But when the stamp is released, so this is a stamp released. You may want to write this down. If it is released today, you go and get the stamp today, right? Then you put it on an envelope. You put that stamp on on that envelope, and you put it on the envelope today. And what address you will put? Your address. And you give this to the postmaster. And the postmaster, when he receives this, he puts the stamp on the over here for his post office, and that stamp that he puts in that, there will be the date. So if today is 5th of October, the stamp with the envelope will have the thing, and you will get this envelope to yourself. And that shows, what does it show? That the day the stamp was released, you had bought the stamp, and that is why it becomes the first day cover. I am repeating again. What is a first day cover? So I am again repeating. You go buy the stamp on the day it was released. Now how do you prove it to other people that you bought it on that day? You take that stamp, take an envelope, put that stamp on the envelope, and you address that envelope to yourself, which means you will get that envelope at your home. And what do? You go to the postmaster and give him that envelope to be posted. When the postmaster receives, he has to put a stamp that he has received the envelope. And when he does this inward receiving, the stamp has the day of the receiving of the envelope. And because you did it on the same day, the stamp will have the same date. And when this will come to you, you will have the envelope with the stamp and with the date on it, stating that it was 6th of October or 5th of October when you bought the stamp on that year, and actually that was the day the stamp was released, right? So it is like a show-off thing, or it is like a collection that you bought the new stamps on the first day, and that is why it is called the first day cover, and so on. President Roosevelt collected stamps too. So he is saying, was he also a sick person? Was he also a mentally depressed person? But you cannot, this is not a correlation. This is not a correlation. If Prajwal sir doesn't teach for 10 days, that means he doesn't know English. That is not a correlation. That is not a correlation. He might not be teaching, but that doesn't mean he cannot speak in English. So here President Roosevelt, if he was collecting stamps, and I am also collecting stamps, and I am sick, and that is why he is also sick. He was also mentally depressed. Now that is not true. That is not true. So anyway, here's what happened. At Grand Central, one night last summer, so this is some time ago, last summer, I worked late at the office. I was in a hurry to get to uptown to my apartment. So cities in modern worlds have downtown, midtown, uptown. This is downtown, this is midtown, and this is uptown. Downtown places are costly, they have offices. Midtown is some general people live, uptown some other commoners live. So if he goes to uptown, it is another common society, right? So if you look at this as Bombay, if you look at downtown, it is all the Kolaba, Marine Lines, Marine Drive area. And midtown would be all the Bandra and other areas. Uptown would be Vasai Virar, Nala Chopara, right? So you understand? If you go down towards the city, more down towards the city, everything will be costly. So he was going from downtown maybe to, or midtown to uptown to his apartment. And he decided to take a subway from Grand Central because it's faster than the bus. Bus you take, it's traffic, and it takes a lot of time. So he said, let me take a train so that I can go to the house faster. I take a fast train, I take a speed subway, and then I get to home very quickly. Now, I don't know why this should have happened to me. Now, we know that this has happened to him because he's crazy. It doesn't happen to common people. I'm just an ordinary guy named Charlie. Now we know the name. 31 years old. 31 years old. He is not very old, right? And I was wearing a tan gabardine suit and a straw hat. So now he's also describing everything. Now, when do you want to describe all of these things? To prove to other people? So, I know you are not fans of movies and we should not be, right? But there was this movie where, this guy Ajay Devgan murders somebody, a girl, and then what was the name? Drishyam. In that, remember, he wants to create this scenario so that he can hide that they had gone to a place, and he goes to people repeatedly explaining things. This had happened, this had happened, this had happened, and actually he puts into their brain what is not real, and that is what happens to us. It's called some kind of brainwashing, or some kind of seeding ideas into your brain. So some people have seeded ideas into your brain that मेरा बेटा तो IIT करेगा, मेरा बेटा तो first rank निकालेगा. Now everybody has potential. We are not saying you are crazy people, but to achieve that, you have to work in your day-to-day life, and you have to grind, my dear friends. You have to work extremely hard. You have to do the things that you have to do. But again, coming back to the point, why do you need to explain? Most of the times when you need to explain, either you want to convince the other people and you can't, but most of the times you just want to explain things that are wrong. And that is why you stretch the idea. So he's now explaining to us what was he wearing, how was he going. And if he explains to us all of these things, we are going to start believing there is third level. Huh? If your friend comes to you, he will tell you the story of McDonald's the entire day. Why? To help you believe that such a thing is present. And that is what our mind also does with us. Are you getting the point or not? I'm capable, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But you're not. You're not. It's not that very easy. Chalo. So he is now trying to explain. I was 31 years old. I was wearing a tan. Tan means skin colored. Gabardine material. Gabardine is a kind of material with twills in it. Suit and a straw hat and a fancy band. There's a picture over here. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me. So he's trying to explain to us that he was ordinary. He was going in an ordinary way. This is all mental, okay? This is not real. This is all mental. I passed a dozen of men who looked just like me and I wasn't trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to get to home, Louisa, my life. So now, Charlie, name of the wife, Louisa. I turned into Grand Central Avenue from Vanderbilt Avenue. So, Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue. Vanderbilt Avenue is a street, right? Some Mahatma Gandhi Road or Sardar Patel Road, and then from there he went to Grand Central and went down the steps to the first level. So this is underground, so he went to the first level. So you have to see ground and under first level, where you take trains like the 20th century, modern trains. Right? So there are two levels. When you go one more down, you go to the subways. Right? It's like that. You can build floors on the top, or you can build floors on the down. So he went to the first level where modern trains go, long distance trains go. And then if you go one more level down, subways go. Then I walked down another flight to the second level. So go down, actually, instead of going up, go down one level and then again one level. Right? Where the suburban trains leave. Where the subway trains leave. Suburban, subway, suburban, suburbs, Mumbai suburbs, Surat suburbs, suburban, subway, locals from downtown to midtown to uptown. The first level takes you to trains farther away. Mumbai to Surat, Mumbai to Vadodara, Mumbai to whatever, Delhi. Yeah? Ducked into an archway. Now he is talking about this Harry Potter kind of thing, right? He found an archway, some arch, and he ducked into it. Somehow the wall opened for him. Somehow the archway opened for him. And he crosses that and he takes the 10th, 3/4. And then on the other side, there are these other people like him, and they are all going to Hogwarts. And they are all going to learn magic. In your class, I don't want to sit. I'll sleep, I'll put the textbook underneath my head, and all of this is going to turn into reality. Wow, well, if that could be the case, I would also rest this lovely Sunday afternoon, and you would also. And what is the need of coming to school then? You can be at your home and you will learn everything. Coming back to the point. Archway, doorway, heading for the subway. It's like your friend telling you that the first time how he went to the McDonald's. He'll get you an old receipt from somebody and show, see, I have the receipt also. So one day he had gone and he had told the manager, "Ke bhai, juni receipt kaadiyal na? Give me an old receipt. Right? I want to make a story." And you can make stories. Are you getting the point or not? So, and got lost. And that's easy to do. Now, big stations are confusing. Airports are confusing. If it's a big place, they are confusing. But he's not going there for the first time. I have been in and out of Grand Central Station hundreds of times, but I'm always bumping into new doorways and stairs and corridors. Why? It's a big place. Right? And you generally take the same route every day. Why you want to take the same route every day? Because you want to get to the place where you want to as fast as possible. You don't want to explore what's in there unless you have to. So, bumping into new doorways and corridors and stairs because it's a big station. Once I got into a tunnel. Now, why would one walk on the railway tracks? Do you? Unless you are crazy. Unless you are crazy. So he went onto the railway tracks in the tunnel. And now these railway tracks in the tunnel, they also have service tracks or side walkways for people to go and service these subways. Just in case if they get stuck or they need to be repaired. And then when you go up and then you can come up again. So you come up on the street, right? So these are long underground tunnels. So who would want to go under on the subway? It's very closed. Yes or no? It is frightening because there are not much spaces. Only the people who go down there for maintenance, they know how they are. Right? He entered that. Now don't you think he's sad or crazy? Tunnels are there and they are meant for maintenance. And they have to keep some spaces so that suddenly if a subway gets stuck somewhere, people can go down there, repair it, maintain it so that it can clear the way for the other trains coming behind it. Agree or disagree? But who goes in the tunnel? He went and he said, I found a new tunnel. You will? Because are you a maintenance guy for the New York subway? Are you the maintenance guy for the Mumbai subway? No, you are not. And you would not know the things that are inside. Yes or no? And who would want to get there? Only a crazy person. Only a sad person. Right? I would go to places out there which are simple. Why would I want to put myself in dangerous places? And when do you put yourself in dangerous places? When you are mentally the sick. Because if you are present in your moment, you will not put yourself into crazy places. You will put yourself into crazy places of position from where you can do great things. Yes or no? I work for 5 hours a day. Let me put myself into a crazy position to be able to do 8 hours a day. You will change. Your life will change. Your work will change. The results will speak for you. But people want to stay as they are. In class also, some class also, people sleep like this in front of the teacher. The teacher is speaking and they are like this. What will happen to them? Sir, તમને બધું કેવી રીતે ખબર પડે? હું આવતા જતા મારી આંખો ખુલ્લી હોય છે. I am not sleeping in my life. I am awake in my life. Do I sleep? Because it's not very easy to be awake and aware all the time. It's a very difficult thing. It's kind of a godly thing. If you get into that state, it's amazing. Chalo, coming back to the point. So he's sad, right? Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came up on the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. On the top there are things. He went down under the tunnel and then he came up in a hotel. Possible. Right? If you can't imagine all of this in our country now, it is building all of these things. But you don't want to say, if you want to walk or go from Grand Central to Roosevelt Hotel, You travel on the street. You walk on the street. You take a taxi. You take a rickshaw. Will you go under the subway and then come up? And not taking the subway, walking on the tracks? No. It's a sad thing to do. Hope you are getting it. Hope everybody is getting the imagination that subways are underground and things are still on the top. Right? Another time I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. So he walked, and he walked 3 lanes and he came up 3 miles away. Now, who would again walk in a subway? It is a dangerous place, okay? It is dark, okay? It is dark, it is dangerous. Though they have places, it is very dark and dangerous. Why? Because trains are moving up, and in the darkness, the motorman doesn't see people. Right? But why does he go there? Nobody knows. One is, he is sad. He goes into his mind. Instead, you come out of your mind, be present, and do what things are. Right? Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree. Is it organic? Is it like a mango tree? No. How can it grow? No. It can grow if people decide, okay, this subway line was pending, so let us expand it. And they might be working on expanding the subway. They might be creating a new section of the subway. The last station was something, and now they want to train to divert from there and go to another station. So it might be growing. But is it organic? We come here and there are these fixed number of seats in this auditorium, right? One day you come up and say there are 100 more. It could happen if we extend the auditorium and do something, but is it going to happen overnight? No. But some people think, oh, I went to the auditorium, I saw something different. There were 2 stories. Balcony also was there. This is tall, there was balcony. And there was this upper gallery. Stupid you are. You have to come out of your mind. Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. Is it organic? You understand organic? Organic things you understand? Right? Organic. Growing on itself. Growing on itself. It does not. Growing on itself. It does not. There's probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about feeling its way under the city right now. That is why they have showed a tree over here. ऐसा होता है? झाड़ छे आम अलग अलग branches થાય? No. What is it? It is his mind. He's sad. Some people already dream and think, oh, AIR won. I'm already in Bids Pilani. Good thing to do. Good thing to psych yourself up. But man, crazy. Wake up. Work on it. You might be able to get there. But if you are sleeping, no, like you do in the class, there's probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about feeling its way under the city right now, on its way to Times Square. Jatte tunnel bani gayi, and jatte it is going. True? Not true. And maybe another to Central Park. So Times Square is a famous place. Central Park is a famous place, both in the New York City. Maybe because for so many people through the years, Grand Central Station has been an exit. See, he wants, what does he want? He wants an exit. Now there is only 2 exits in this world. You get born and you die. Right? And the other exit is do well in your life. Right? In the spiritual path, they say, salvation or moksha or whatever. You don't have to come back and go. Then that's the 3rd exit, and it is not that very easy. But otherwise, 2 common exits. You get born into this world, and one day you are going to die. Or there are exits, okay. Exit from school, exit from college, exit from university. Exit from a job to a better job. Right? Those are exits. But here he isn't talking about exit of running away from this place, from the present moment. Is it a good idea? Is it a wise idea? Is it a simple, straightforward idea? No. A way of escape. Now that's a problem. Everybody wants to escape. Sir, if I get a vacation right now and if I can go to this exotic place like whatever, Sophie went to, or go to another country, that exit also is going to be temporary. Yes or no? Your vacations are also temporary. You go, I mean, you have to go sometimes. But what are they? Temporary. What is real? Your life. What is real? Your life. It is real. You have to make sure that you work on the real stuff. But he wants to an exit. Flight, fight, flee. A way to escape. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into. I wanted to escape. So pachi, if you want to escape, you will escape. If you don't want to study, you will not study. If you want to sleep, you will sleep. If you find something difficult, you will find it more difficult if you don't work on it. But I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. Why did he not? Then he would have given him more crazy medicines. Because he is thinking too much. He is thinking like a concrete building would grow on itself, like a tree. That will confirm that he is a clinical patient, and then the next step would be to put him into a mental asylum, mental hospital. Why? Because such people then get crazy. They see walls and they see things happening through the wall. Is it there? It's not there. But they will tell other people that I see, you don't see it, you are crazy. That is a wrong thing. And he's in that state, so he doesn't want to tell his psychiatrist friends. If everybody sees the sun and we are seeing the sun, then it's the sun. If everybody is seeing the time and we are seeing the same time, then it's a time. That is what is science. But you say it is 1 o'clock and somebody else says 3 o'clock, then it's a different thing. And it could be for spiritual reasons, but that is again a different story altogether. But what is reality is reality. The corridor I was in began angling and slanting downward. So he is going on the third level, right? First level down, second level down, third level he went into some wall and he's again going down. And I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. He thought it was wrong, he had taken a wrong turn, but he kept walking. Now, where is he going? In his head? In his dreams? Yes. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps. He could not hear or see anybody. And I didn't pass a soul. I didn't pass a human being. Soul over here means any other human being. Then I heard sort of hollow roar ahead. That means open space and people talking. Then I found suddenly voice was coming. And when I went there, it was the third level on the Grand Central Station. What is all of this? An imagination, which is not real. The tunnel turned sharp left. I went down a short flight of stairs and came out on the third level of the Grand Central Station. So he went down, he found stairs, hidden stairs. Now if everybody goes on the third level of the Grand Central Station, he's a normal man. Or suddenly you did not know, but there was third level, but you accidentally went on the third level. Oh, this is also there. Yes or no? It's like, you go to a restaurant and you order dosa and idli all the time. But see, next door you see, oh, pasta. Oh, it is also there. Oh, bhai, ek pasta dena. So that is not a problem. Yes or no? If the third level is there and you never knew about it, but you went there, then it is okay. But like him, can everybody go there, Surat? No. So what is it? It is fiction. It is fiction, and that is one of the reasons why we ask you not to read fictional books at school after a certain age. Why? Because you will read Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson is a demigod, half god, half human. You will also feel that I am half god, half human, I can do anything. I'll be on vacation for 15 days and then in those 15 days, 15 chapters of physics done with problem solving. And with all the 10 years of IIT JEE question. In your dreams, man. Your dreams. You need to work on it, right? Yes or no? Or you can say somebody else will work on it. Doesn't work. So coming back to the point. The tunnel turned sharp left. I went onto a down short flight of stairs and came onto the third level. So chalo, if this is magic, take your wife at least. Show it to her. Take her for a cool Sunday evening walk over there. Right? Can he? No. So it is not provable, and that is why it is fiction. Your work also. Sir, I can get into bits Pilani. Prove it. Proving requires work. Proving requires change. Proving requires to put in the work. Sir, that I don't want to. Then stay where you are. Do what you want to. Lie. Lie to yourself and other people that you want to do things and don't work and want to work on it. Lie. It's a lie, yes or no? It's a lie. You work on the lies to make them a reality. Chalo, coming back to the point. We'll stop in some time. For just a moment, I thought I was back on the second level. But I saw the room was smaller. There were fewer ticket windows than the modern station. And the train gates and the information booth center was wood and old looking. Now, why is he explaining all of this? He wants to prove something which is not real. And that is why you need to give more explanation. When you have to lie to somebody, you have to give more explanation. If it's the truth, you say, okay, it's 1 o'clock. But if it's not 1 o'clock, you will have to give explanation why is it 1 o'clock for you and say maybe 3 p.m. for somebody else. Right? When you don't get the results and when you have to explain to your parents why didn't you get the marks, you have to have a long explanation. Why? Because if it's a short answer, you have got what they feel and think what you should be doing, it's on the report card. And they will say, oh, great job. Good job, dude. Sir, my parents never say that. All parents are like that. But they love you anyways. So when they say, good job, man, 85. Next time 86 लाना. अरे यार सब मजा मार दिया, 85 तो आ गया, एक क्यों बढ़ाने का? But they are parents, let it be. Anyways, you are working on 90, why should you worry? Why should you worry if you are working on 90? But if you are going down, then you like here. You want 86? Next time I'll give you 70 on your face, man. That's not a good idea. But if you are anyways working over towards 90, that will be easy. Don't tell them. 86. I will try, get it. But we get worried, and what do we do? Yeah, these people are so demanding. They keep on asking for more and more and more. Chalo. Train gates and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. Why? He wants to prove that he had gone on the third level and this is some time in the past, 1848. Right? Where his grandfather used to be. And the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. Green eye shade, long black sleeve protectors. Long gloves to protect himself from maybe whatever. Old time clothes. The lights were dim and sort of flickering because they were gas light lamps. They were not modern electric lamps. So they were flickering. When you have lost spring, when they weld these bangles, what kind of light is in there? Electricity? No, flickering lamps. So the light was flickering. Then I saw why they were open flame gas lights. Hope you are writing this up. Green cap, so green eye shade to protect from the eye strain in the incandescent light. And black sleeve protectors could be maybe hand gloves or something to protect your hand and your body. Gas lights are old days light made up of gas. Flickering means shining, unsteady. Clear? There were brass spitons on the floor. Spitons means tubs where we brush our teeth, but they were made up of brass, not ceramic, on the floor. And across the station, a glint of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. Now, earlier we did not have hand watches. They were these small pocket watches. So he was looking at it, a gold watch. Light went into that gold watch and reflected back so he could see somebody had a. Now, why is he doing all of this? To prove it is a storytelling. He is giving out the details that he had actually gone on to a place where there was this old style of everything. Right? A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. He snapped open, covered, and glanced at his watch and frowned. Frowned maybe because the time was up and the train was running or whatever. He was showing displeasure. He wore a derby hat, a black 4-button suit with tiny lapels. Now, those who understand fashion, fashion keeps on changing. So he's exactly describing how the clothes were in that era. Hopefully you understand. He's giving detailed explanation of, so right now there is, a couple of years ago you were wearing skinny jeans. Now people started wearing loose fit. Right? Also I see some places you are wearing bell bottoms, where you clean the street with the pants. Now, why do fashion change? People want to earn money. They say this is in fashion, this is not in fashion. What should we be wearing? What is comfortable? What is cheap? What is simple? That is what we need to do. Chalo, we finish this paragraph and we stop. He wore a derby hat, a black 4-button suit and tiny lapels. Lapels means collar. Here you can keep it like tucked in and it stays like properly. They are called lapels. Right? He had a big black handlebar mustache, means like this. This is called handlebar mustache. You know, big mustaches. These are called sideburns. And sideburns when handlebar mustache. Yes or no? Some old way of dressing and styling themselves. Right now people keep, I don't want to say. Then I looked around and saw that everybody in the station was dressed like 1890 something. See, he wants to show that he had gone on a third level, which is in the past. And that is why he has to name everything how it was in the past. I never saw so many beards and sideburns and fancy mustaches in my life. So in the modern world, people used to be clean shaved. But in the past, people had fancy hairstyles. Why? Because they had time. Na? They could go to the barber and sit all day long. Kuch naya bana. In the modern day, if you go and sit in a salon, it should be in 10 minutes you should get your work done. Because otherwise in those 10 minutes, all will go past you. But people in the olden days, why did they have a lot of time? They had not much to do. There was no technology. The things were not moving at a faster pace. The things were slow. And that is why we need to do what we need to do in modern times. And that is why it is more difficult. Right? Sir, in your days, everything was easy. You had just 5 subjects and no technology, 5 books to study. But we had no teachers. Knowledge was not easily available. People could not teach like this. People were not ready to teach. Lot of things. Chalo. A woman walked in the train gate. She wore a dress with a leg of mutton sleeves, right? So again, something like this, if you broad skirt. You see this trapezium kind of thing? Leg of mutton, broad like bell bottoms. Why is he describing all of this? He wants to show this is 1890 styling. This is 1890 styling. If we go in the past India, we'll see people with wearing, dhoti. We will see people wearing a kurta. We'll see people wearing a small white or black hat, right? So if we have to prove we were in the past, we have to tell all of them, right? Or we'll have to tell them we went to a pizza store. In the past, there was no pizza. So suppose we went to a jalebi store and we gave him 1 rupee and he gave us his entire store's jalebi. Why? Because 1 rupee had a lot of value. What has happened to the value of money with inflation? 1 rupee, he'll not even give you 1 short atom of a jalebi right now. But in the olden times, if you would go to the store of the mithai wala, if you give him 1 rupee, he'll say, 1 rupee? Take the entire store. Why? Because that was the value of 1 rupee in that time. And if we have to show this to other people, we'll have to tell a story. And most probably it will be a wrong story. Right? Chalo. Back of her, out on the tracks, I saw a glimpse of a locomotive. Locomotive means a train. A very small courier and Ivis. Now, he names the company, which maybe means that this company is out of, business right now. And he has to tell other people, that I had seen couriers and Ivis locomotive. That company does not exist. With a funnel-shaped stack, like a chimney on the top. And then I knew. What did he knew? Then he believed that he was in 1890, he had gone on the third level, and the third level trains are not in the modern world. They are in the past world, and then they take you on journeys in the 1890. Right? So we'll stop here. I know it's Sunday, it's a lot of time.